Hello. I feel a little bit like I'm at an awards show, so I want to do just a moment of Adele and send a shout out to Martha Cooney, who is my storytelling goddess. If you've ever heard her tell her Market Frankfurt line story, you will never forget it. But I'm going to do my best to try to make you forget it for just a moment. So this is a big deal. This is, I get an open mic in 5 minutes to tell people about my ex. This is what my life has been waiting for. So my ex and I were together 17 years. Actually, that's not true. I was together 17 years. He was only together 15 years. There was a 2-year period where it was already over, and I just didn't realize it. I truly was the last to know. So I have all these stories. I go through my file around them, and I'm going to tell one that's not about how hurt or angry or pathetic any of it was. I'm going to tell a story that's kind of tragic and funny, I hope, but it's got a little bit of resurrection at the end, so that's good. So just know it ends okay. So on December 31st, 1989, the last day of the last month of the next to last year in the previous century, we're on vacation in the Yucatan. We were in Mérida for a couple of days, and it was really fun. And then we rented a car because we wanted to go to all the ruins, Uxmal, Chichen Itza, Loltun. And we're somewhere between, Tulum and Chichen Itza, sort of on this dusty dirt back road in the border of the Mexican jungle. And we're in this little Volkswagen Golf that we rented, which turns out is the safest car on the planet. A few minutes before, about a half an hour before, we had picked up a family of Mexican workers, and there was a mother and a father and a couple of kids, and we put them in the back seat, and it was all great, and we let them out, thank God. Because about 10 minutes later, we're driving down this dusty road, and I'm a new driver, by the way. I grew up in New York, so I didn't learn to drive till I was like 30. So we're on this dusty road, and there's a truck in front of us, and it's like, okay, this is like really bad. So the truck gives me just a little room, and I think I can pass the truck. So I start accelerating, and the truck takes the road back. So I don't know what to do. I panic, and I step on the brake, and we get clouded in dust, and I can't even see. And I'm afraid that we're going to hit the back of the truck, so I really step on the brake hard. Okay, so the car kind of spins around, goes off the road, and tumbles over 2.5 times. Yeah, I know, but remember I said it's resurrection. It's okay. So I don't know what it meant, but as we're turning over 2.5 times, it felt like it was in slow motion. And I said to myself in my head, oh, this isn't so bad. I don't really know what that meant. But there it was. So we end up upside down in a gully, and I panic, and he says, roll up the window, which is really down because we're upside down. So we do that, and he goes, let's get out of the car. It's going to blow up. So, panic, right, out the windows of the car. And we stand there looking, and the car doesn't blow up, thank God, but he does. Okay. This is it. This is the end. This is the worst. It's over. Notice what he did not say was, are you all right? Okay, so just, had to get that in there. Sorry, forgive me. I'm petty, I admit it. So we're standing there, and the car looks like an accordion except for the front seat. Miraculously enough. I think that might be the day I found God. I'm not sure. But so we're looking at this car, and he's having a conniption fit, like running all over like a chicken without a head, screaming at me about how I'm the worst person ever. And I come up with a brilliant idea. I say, I know, let's roll the car over on its tires. And he goes, and do what with it? And I'll drive it. He goes, no, impossible. So we're standing there in the middle of nothing, and about 10 minutes later, I say to him, do you think we're dead? And he says, you're going to wish you were. So, okay. So 5 minutes later, these two Americans, Kurt and Mary, come by in the same exact car, a Volkswagen Golf. They take us to town where there's an enterprise dealer in the edge of the jungle, and we tell them the story, and they tell us we have 2 choices. We can file a police report, which could take days, or we could buy the car for $5,000. So we scrape together our credit cards, we buy the car. We go back to look at the car with the guy from Enterprise, and the car is totally stripped. I mean, you have never seen a car skeleton in your life. But the guy from Enterprise looks at it, goes into his car, pulls out the biggest screwdriver I've ever seen in my entire life, and crawls into the wreck, and we start to hear mariachi music. And he screams, "El radio es bueno!" So he unscrews everything, comes out with El Radio, drives us back to Merida, where we didn't want to be, and the first thing that happens is they offer us another car, which, of course, we take. So we spend that whole entire night not talking to each other. And finally at midnight, because it's New Year's Eve, I say, okay, this blows. We just have to just pretend we're happy because this is too awful. So we find our way to this disco that is in an abandoned movie theater. And it's amazing and it's great. And we're standing at the bar and there were these gorgeous guys there who, just very Mexican looking and slender and elegant. And we start doing shots of tequila with them. And then one of them says to me, "Tomorrow you come see me fight the bull." I said, "Oh, you've got to be kidding." And he goes, "No, seriously, I am Flavio, El Torero." So I don't think this is real, but we do a couple of more shots. And he plants on me the biggest, deepest kiss I've ever gotten from a stranger. And in my head, I'm melting and thinking, "Oh, Flavio." Yes. So abruptly, Flavio says, "Okay, we have to go now." And they march off. My ex and I get escorted out of the club because apparently it's not cool to kiss in the club. I don't understand why, but it was. So 2 days later, in our second Volkswagen Golf, which my ex has a fender bender in, we're in Chichen or somewhere, and I'm looking at the newspaper, and there on the front page is Flavio wearing the little Mickey Mouse hat with a bandolero or whatever the sword is called. And we're like, holy shit. I got tongue-kissed by a Mexican bullfighter on New Year's Eve. So the moral of the story is, when you roll over in a car and you nearly kill your ex and yourself, but you don't, you want to deep tongue kiss a Mexican bullfighter because it will get you back up. Thank you.